Oh boy, we've got some more Game Informer news about the Saints Row. We got a nice little article here to read. I'm going to read through it with you. I'm yet to read it, but I've seen it be shown off, and apparently it's got some cool, interesting feature. It's called the Side Hustles of Saints Row. So today we're going to sit here, we're going to read through it together because, like I said, I haven't read it, and I'll try and just give you my general thoughts and see what's interesting and what's cool. So this part of the article really discusses the fact that the campaign is only 50% of this game. I feel like with every other Saints Row, it's been story, campaign, like, focused, and then just the rest is literally just side stuff. Whereas this feels like the campaign's only 50% of the game, and then there's the, like, sandbox exploration aspect. So here it discusses the fact that we could start businesses, which is really cool. This is something we already knew from the Criminal Ventures, but I think it's really important to take note of the fact that we can have 3 businesses, it says. And from these businesses, you unlock cool customization options, whether it be clothes, cars, guns, which I think is great. This is what we need. There's actually a reward here, and that means it will entice people to actually do it instead of playing the campaign. And I'm a bit of a stickler for 100% in games when I play them, so I'm definitely going through and add all this replay value to it because I want to do every business. And if I can only do 3 at a time, you already know my bitch ass is restarting that game to do all the businesses. It's very cool, and I really like that they're going with the approach of the fact you can just do more than just, like, one thing. It really just makes me, like, happy to hear that Saints Row is not just a boring, bland, story-driven game, where the story's there if you want to go for it, but there's so much extra stuff you can do on the side, and that is great news. So here, the guy who got to play the game talks about a side quest or side mission where he was riding shotgun. This sounds epic. He was basically a turret for a drug deal gone bad and had to shoot a bunch of people. That is typical Saints Row. That's not what's epic. What is really epic is the fact he said side mission. Now, hear me out. We had side missions in Saints Row 4, and they were pretty bland and boring because of the setting, really. But they were some of the coolest ones, too. All these things like, you know, future Shaundy and old Shaundy hanging out. And then you had the whole Nightblade thing. They had some of the best gameplay in, like, the actual Saints Row. It was weird. So, the fact that we can do this adds a ton of replay value. And please just take note, he said side mission, not activity. That means there's just extra content lying about the map that you can go and do. That's great. It means we don't have to be stuck on this whole do the main mission, do the activities to do more main missions system that we had before. No, no, no. You can not do side activities, you can not do this, and you can just do the story, or you can go around doing side missions, and that's great news. That means that we finally have a game where it feels a bit more open world, expansive, and we have more freedom. This sounds great, honestly. So here he talks about another side hustle, which is basically delivering a package from point A to point B, and obviously people are probably chasing you down. You have a time limit, and you can either go through the city, which is going to be faster, obviously, or go through the desert, which is slower but less packed, so you can drive there in better. And it's more about, like, taking the choice of where you want to go. This reminds me an awful lot of GTA 5's Weed Farm. I'm not saying it's the same, but here, when you have the package from your weed farm, you can deliver it to the buyer to get your money. It reminds me of that, and again, it sounds like a really cool and fun thing to do with, like, friends and stuff. Like, imagine in co-op, you can have, like, little mini races and stuff, which just sounds fun, basically. So this right here talks about the fact you can take over territory. It reminds me a little of Saints Row 2's, like, your gang war areas. But this basically means that once you have more notoriety in the area, and you take it over for the Saints, more Saints will be around, so if there's any enemies nearby, they'll fight for you. It's kind of like what happened throughout the game in Saints Row 3, how it starts off with no Saints around, and as you progress, more Saints come as you take over the area. It basically just reminds me of that, and again, it's something I'm happy to see come back. Or perhaps it'll be different, and it'll be new, and that's something I'm looking forward to playing as. So this here discusses Santo Ileso as this really vast, open, and history-rich town, or city, sorry, and that sounds great, and apparently you're able to pull out, like, a camera and take photos of the area. We saw this when they were casing that one building. I imagine it'll be the same thing, and this reminds me of, I think it was in the original Saints Row 3 we had this as well. I may just be making that up, though. But this is cool. It'll probably mean we'll be able to take, like, mini videos of areas and stuff, get cinematics, you know, get cool screenshots and wallpapers, which is something I actually do a lot in games. I'll take a screenshot and set it as my background for the console. So this is great. It means it'll just make it a lot easier to implement. And I'll probably have some pretty badass thumbnails in the future, so good to know. So this here just discusses the Criminal Ventures part of the game a bit more in detail, which is quite good to know. A lot of cool information here. It talks about needing money to make more organisations and expand the Saints Empire, which is stuff we already know. I'd go more further in depth, but there's a whole Criminal Ventures video out there for you guys to watch. If you want to read it though, it's on screen. You can pause right now. But yeah, thank you for watching. We took a little look at this article, and again, just more stuff that makes me a bit more hyped for Saints Row, to be honest. So, let's see what's coming soon.